Hi, and welcome to today's edition of Bounce Back. I'm sure over the last few weeks we've been establishing some new routines, some new habits, some new forms of getting through the day. So today I thought I'd actually have a look at what actually is a habit. So a habit is defined as the small decisions that you can make every day on a repetitive basis. And basically the research shows that 40% of our day is actually habitual, which is an awful lot of your day if you're not in control of those habits. So those habits basically are what you are. They are the sum of your life. So what kind of shape you're in, it's a decision that you make, and that's a result of your habits. How happy you are or not, as the case may be, is because of the route that you're living your life. Whether you're successful or not is creating these habits. If you follow the path of many successful people in business or in other areas, you will see that they are very habitual in how they actually process and manage their days, leaving little opportunity for mistakes or failure. So what you actually do repetitively forms those habits. That makes you become the person you are. The things you believe in, your personality, are all formed from these habits that you make. So you need to look at how these affect you, and we create habits very quickly and sometimes subconsciously. So just to think now, if you just fold your arms and now fold them the other way, how different does that make? That is a habit that you formed, probably not even thought about it. So do you put water on your toothbrush and then the toothpaste, or toothpaste and then the water? Do you put your seatbelt on and then start the engine, or the engine and start your seatbelt? Do you put your left shoe on before your right shoe, or your right shoe before your left shoe? We will do these things the same every single day, and most of the time it's without really thinking. It's a habit that's formed over time. But in the first place, we must have thought about it. We must have actually gone through that process to be able to repeat it. So in terms of habits, if you're looking at creating some new habits to change the way that you're working, to change the way that you're living, we discussed yesterday a little bit between that work-life balance, the time that you're spending between the two, and making the lists about what's positive about being at home, which bits you're missing about being work, and balancing them, then creating these new habits. So start with something small and very achievable. Make it simple so you can actually get used to it and repeat very simply, and then start to increase it slowly, step by step, increasing that. One of the biggest problems with habits in the first place is the motivation and the willpower to make that change. So if you make them very small and simple first, they don't really need a lot of willpower, or they don't really need a lot of motivation, and then you can slowly start building the habit, and as that builds, the self-confidence, the motivation and the willpower increase with it. Then when it starts getting too big, break it back down again, bring it back into small pieces, and then they again become manageable. And then each one will build, and then again cut and build, and eventually you will develop this set of very good habits for your lifestyle, for your work-life balance, professionally, personally, and also to be successful in everything that you do, not just in the business. And if you do slip, just get back on track as soon as you can. There's not a problem with making the mistakes. It's going to happen. Accept it happens. But once it's happened, get back on track as soon as you can. The longer you let that slide, the slide then becomes the habit, and then that will continue. So address the issue, correct it, and go again. Start again, nice and simple. And then lastly, be patient. Take time. You're not going to create habits for life overnight, but you will create, and you can create habits very quickly. So look at it and see how are you going to work it. We can look at this in terms of the tennis players. We know the between point time is when the players show whether they're mentally tough or not. And they have a routine. It doesn't matter, win the point or lose the point. We watch Rafa in tournaments, it is the same. He goes through the same processes every single time. He doesn't change. Whether he's won the point or lost the point, it makes no difference. He has this set of habits before the match, during the match, between the points, change events. All these different things are habits which he's put in place, as of all the top players, to make sure they are managing themselves emotionally and physically to be able to be the best they can be, to perform at their highest level. And if you take that analogy, apply it to your life, and then you'll see how you can really make positive changes to how you can go forward. And that's what we've got to do now, go forward. We've had 6 weeks now in the UK of lockdown. We're going into week 7. Maybe this week we'll find out a little bit more about how we're coming out of this, but we have to be ready to come out as soon as that button is pressed. But in the meantime, please stay well, stay safe, and take care. Cheers.